Do you ever find yourself in a conversation, maybe at a party or a work event, and suddenly there's silence? That awkward pause stretches on, and a familiar thought creeps in. I'm boring. I have nothing interesting to say. Maybe you replay conversations later, cringing at what you said or didn't say. You see others connecting easily, laughing, sharing stories, and you wonder why it feels so hard for you. This feeling, this fear of being perceived as dull or uninteresting, can be paralyzing. It can make you avoid social situations altogether, leaving you feeling isolated and misunderstood. But what if that feeling, that label of boring, isn't actually about you? What if it's simply a matter of missing tools, a lack of specific skills that anyone can learn? Welcome to Mind Architect Lab, Practical Philosophy and Psychology. In this session, we're not just going to talk about conversation skills. We're going to actively practice a foundational technique together. This isn't about changing your personality. It's about adding effective strategies to your communication toolkit. By the end of this guided practice, you'll have engaged with a core method designed to shift your focus and immediately equip you to approach your next conversation differently. Stay with me through this exercise, and let's start building that skill right now. First, let's prepare our minds for this practice. Find a comfortable position, perhaps sitting upright in a chair, relaxed but alert. Take a gentle, deep breath in, and slowly release it. Let go of any immediate tension. It's crucial to understand why developing these skills matters. Good conversation isn't just about filling silence. It's the primary way we build connections, understand others, share experiences, create opportunities, and ultimately, feel a sense of belonging. The myth of the naturally boring person is largely just that, a myth. Engaging conversation is less about innate charisma and more about practice techniques like active listening, asking thoughtful questions, and showing genuine interest. Today, we'll focus specifically on the powerful combination of listening actively and asking open-ended questions. This exercise is designed to be done mentally, but if you find it helpful to have a notebook nearby to jot down thoughts during the reflection moments, feel free to do so. The main goal is internal engagement and practice. Are you ready? Let's begin. Let's start with a mindset shift. Gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. Bring to mind a recent conversation where you felt awkward, or maybe where that "I'm boring" thought surfaced. Don't dwell on the negative feeling, just observe the memory. Now consciously reframe it. Instead of thinking "I was so boring then," try thinking, "That was a moment where I lacked the right conversation tool," or "That was an opportunity where a different approach might have helped." See the situation not as a judgment on your inherent worth, but as a scenario where a specific skill could have been applied. Silently repeat to yourself, "My value is not defined by any single conversation." Awkwardness often stems from a lack of skill, not a lack of worth. Take another breath, and as you exhale, try to release any lingering self-judgment associated with that memory. Feel the lightness that comes from separating your identity from a specific conversational outcome. This reframing is the foundation. Now let's move into simulating active listening. Keep your eyes closed or your gaze soft. Imagine someone is talking to you. It doesn't need to be complex. Perhaps they're telling you about their weekend, a movie they watched, or a challenge they faced at work. Picture them speaking. As they talk in your imagination, mentally practice the cues of active listening. Imagine yourself nodding slightly. Imagine your internal focus staying entirely on them, not drifting to what you'll say next. Silently, in your mind, occasionally summarize a key point they just made. For example, if they said, "I went hiking and the view was amazing," you might mentally echo, "So the view was a highlight of the hike." Just practice receiving their message fully. How does this simulated focus feel? Does it feel different from how you usually engage in conversations? Take a moment to notice any shifts in your internal state just by pretending to listen deeply. This internal practice builds the muscle memory for real-world interactions. Next, let's practice generating open-ended questions. These are questions that invite more than a simple yes or no answer. They encourage the other person to share more. Let's use a simple scenario. Imagine someone says to you, "I just got back from a trip to the coast." A closed question would be, "Was it nice?" Likely yielding a yes or no. Now let's generate open-ended alternatives. Take a moment right now to think of 2 or 3 open-ended questions you could ask in response to, "I just got back from a trip to the coast." Maybe something like, "Oh, interesting. What was the most memorable part of your trip?" Or, "What drew you to visit the coast?" Or perhaps, "How did you find the atmosphere there compared to home?" Notice how these questions open the door for stories, feelings, and details. They show genuine curiosity. Practice generating these in your mind. Feel the potential they have to deepen the conversation. Finally, let's integrate these 2 skills. Bring back the image of the person talking, perhaps continuing their story about the coast after you asked an open-ended question. As they respond, return to that state of active listening you practiced earlier. Truly focus on what they're sharing, their words, their tone. Now, based as specifically on what they just said in your imagination, formulate another open-ended follow-up question. For instance, if they described a beautiful sunset, you might ask, "What did watching that sunset make you feel?" Or, "Were there other moments on the trip that felt similarly peaceful?" The key is that the question arises naturally from what they shared, showing you were truly listening. Practice this link. Listen deeply, then ask openly based on what you heard. This creates a natural, engaging conversational flow. Take a final moment here to just sit with the feeling of this integrated practice, listening to understand, and asking to deepen that understanding. Now, gently bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Wiggle your fingers and toes. When you're ready, open your eyes if they were closed. Take a moment to reflect on the exercise. We practiced shifting our mindset away from self-criticism towards skill building. We mentally simulated active listening, focusing our attention externally. We practiced generating open-ended questions designed to invite deeper sharing, and we linked these skills together. Remember that core idea we started with? Feeling boring often stems from a lack of these very skills. What you just practiced, that technique of truly listening and then asking open, relevant questions, is a powerful antidote. It shifts the focus from your own internal anxiety to genuine curiosity about the other person. This focus on the other is the foundation you practice today, and it truly can make your next conversation feel different, more connected, and far less daunting. This guided practice is just the beginning. Like any skill, conversation abilities strengthen with consistent effort. The real growth happens when you start applying these techniques, even in small ways, in your daily interactions. So here's your invitation. In your next conversation, try to consciously implement just one small thing from our practice today. Maybe it's focusing entirely on listening for 60 seconds without planning your response. Maybe it's asking just one open-ended question when you normally wouldn't. Don't aim for perfection, aim for practice. We hope this guided session was valuable for you. What part of the exercise resonated most? Or what's one small step you plan to take? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights help our whole community learn. If you found this practice helpful, please give this video a like. It lets us know what kind of content serves you best. And for more deep dives into practical philosophy and psychology for modern life, please subscribe to Mind Architect Lab. Thank you for investing this time in yourself and your ability to connect. Remember, you're not inherently boring. You're simply learning the art of conversation. Keep practicing. Keep